The next guest then that we'll bring on in this progression is a perfect next step after Jay. Jay emphasized a lot there at the end about the social media part of things and how important that is. Obviously, most of us know that today. And executing on social media is far more a challenge than just knowing we should do it. And so our next guest, Justin Nelson, is going to help guide us through that a little bit. Justin's session is called Unique Touches Using Various Social Media Channels, which sounded pretty intriguing to me when we messaged about that. I'm like, I like that. It sounds more than just like your basic old, hey, go on Facebook and post a picture of your dinner or whatever, right?
Yeah. No, how are you, Eric?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for joining us today. Justin, the name of your company is Sphere Rocket. At least my abbreviated version of the name of it. You do, Fred Weaver mentioned you earlier in his session about your virtual assistance company, right? And I know you've been long a user and a practitioner and, a guy using social media at a high level.
Absolutely.
I met Justin a couple of years ago at a mastermind in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
And, we've just stayed in contact since then. We were both in different places, different companies at that time, and now here we are. But I'm just excited to have you today, man. I know you're going to bring a lot of good content and, perhaps I'm suspecting a little bit of a different slant on how some of us see some of these channels and what we can do with them.
Yeah, no, Eric, I really appreciate it. I apologize about my moving background. As you knew, I moved to Nashville yesterday, so I'm still putting the office together, but I really appreciate it and ready to bring some massive value.
Great. Well, hey, I'm going to jump off of here, Justin. I'm going to leave the floor to you, and I appreciate you being here doing this. Take it away.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to first say thank you to everybody watching, and I'm just super excited to deliver some super easy implementable value when it comes to Facebook. So for those that may know me or may not know me, one of my main roles is I've helped build a big real estate team, sold out my portion of it, opened expansion sites. And one of the things to get down to the root and just dump in is everything that I've built in my companies in partnership with other companies has always been built around social media. A lot of people ask me, hey, Justin, what is the number one thing you do on social media? Of course, we run ads. Of course, we run, our personal pages. Of course, we run business pages. However, what we find for most agents is they skip over their database. And so just to kind of start off with some examples, when we look at our Facebook database, so if you're listening to this right now, I want you to think about your Facebook database, how many people you have in your friends list on Facebook. So when you take your friends list, and let's say you have 5, 6, 7, 800 friends, when we did a survey last year, when I was on the road about 300 days and taught in about 130 locations, we took a survey. And what happened on that survey is we found that only 20% of people in your Facebook friends list, in your Instagram following, in the people that you were following on Instagram, and the people that you followed on Twitter, the people that followed you on Twitter, really any social media platform, we found that only 20% of them were actually in a physical database of yours, right? So you may have this awesome looking database of, that you mail, that you call once a quarter, whatever your strategy is, it doesn't really matter. The premise is we found that only 20% of our social media profiles that we followed or had connections with LinkedIn. A lot of people we connected with on LinkedIn were not in our CRM to be able to do the consistent follow-up that we're taught. And regardless of company, regardless of what you do, could be a quarterly call, could be client events, could be monthly market update videos. What we found is only 20% of our people in our social media platforms were in our CRM. So one thing that I teach on social media, and Jay just said it perfectly in the last session, is a lot of our success is going to be dependent on how often people are seeing us. And so one of the big things we fail at in this business is, and so that's what we're going to talk about today, is some unique touches, is a lot of us have our database and we touch it, 10, 15 times a year in whatever form or fashion. And then we have our social media platforms, which, like I said, is about 80% different people. Only 20% on average will cross over. And so when we see those, the very first step, and one thing I really think is a massive value is you have to find a way to get that 80% into your non-social media database. That's the very first thing. So, there's some really cool ways to do this. And Eric, I'll provide you a link if anybody wants to look it up. There's a way to download your Facebook friends list. There's a way to download your Instagram list and all those fun lists, and then be able to scrape it directly into your CRM with fairly little work. And so then once we all your people on your social media platforms put into your CRM, that's where we can have a lot of fun with super unique touches. So I want to give you guys an example of a super unique touch that we do via social media. Obviously, I run a virtual assistant company, so a lot of the stuff that I say that I do, I don't personally do anymore. It's done by my virtual assistants, but very easily done by anybody that's watching. One thing that we do is once I downloaded, like for me, for example, I have 5,000 friends on Facebook. So I truly believe too that you should all maximize your accounts. You should have the max of 5,000 on Facebook. You should try to get as high as you can on Instagram. The more people and more eyes you have on you, the better. And then you also have 30,000 open spots on LinkedIn. I think you should take advantage of every single one of those spots for more people to see your stuff. And so when we have those platforms and we're looking at unique touches, what we're then able to do is we can take those touches. So I want to give you guys an example of a touch we do. Send out cards. A lot of us have heard of it. We've used it in the past. One thing that I do now is I took my Facebook list of 5,000 people and I divided it by 365 days, which roughly comes to about 5,000 is about 15 a day. And so one thing that my virtual assistant does now is they take all the Facebook data, and they go on each Facebook profile and they download one picture from that person's profile once a quarter. So once a quarter, they're going to download a picture that person posted on their profile, and we're going to use send out cards to send them something in the mail from their Facebook page. Now, what's really cool about this is send out cards has something called the unlimited package. So for $99 a month, we send them something in the mail. And so let's say that again. For $99 a month, you get unlimited cards to send in the mail. $99 a month, unlimited cards. So literally right now we're averaging about 12 to 1,500 pieces, which if I were to do in the regular mail, which wouldn't look nearly as good, it's about $700 to $800 minimum. And we're getting that for $99 a month. And so what we're going to talk about a little bit as we keep going is unique touches. So we do the regular Facebook touches. And what we're talking about here is mostly our personal page. We don't find that business pages are as effective as they used to be. Business pages are great for reputation. Like if people look you up, you need to have reviews. You also need to make sure that if you're running ads, you have a great looking business page, but no one just drives down the street and goes, wow, that KW, that EXP, that Remax, I'm going to look up their roster and look at the business pages. It just doesn't happen. So we're talking a lot about our personal page connections. And so you're going to do the typical, make post on your Facebook. You're going to do the typical liking people's post on Facebook. But how do we stand out and touch that audience in different ways and different fashions? So one great way is the send out card method. So we focus a lot of our time and attention on even sending mailers to those people. And it's fairly easy to get their addresses if you use the system called Spokio. I think we pay like $15 a month to be able to do those searches. And so now not only are we touching them in an online version, but we're also touching them in a physical world as well. It's kind of mending those two worlds together. Of course, the other super unique thing that we do is on their birthdays. What we do is three things. We'll actually shoot everybody a custom video, which is a big thing. I know Fred Weaver talks a lot about that, who was on here earlier today. We shoot them a custom video. So each morning I do about 10 to 15 of those. And then we also will send them a send out card for their birthday. Again, over the course of the year, it's about 5,000. And then also what we do each and every day is we go through and we like every post in our feed back about 2,000 posts. Now, that's something that I obviously do with my virtual assistants. It's not something that I do anymore, but it's a super, super great way to increase the engagement. In the last 6 months as well, probably the number one thing for me that has gotten me more sales than any of my business is using social media in a very unique way. And this, for a lot of people, we have a mental block around video and doing things, but this by far has blown my business up in the last 6 months is when we're scrolling through the feed. So I take my top 250 people in my friends list on whatever platform. And what I do is I put them in a spreadsheet. And then each and every day, depending on the platform, I use lists to go through and see what those people posted for the day. My goal is to find 10 to 15 people each and every day that said or commented or posted something on Facebook. And then what I do is just sitting here like I am at my computer, I click send them a message, and then I literally just shoot them a 10 to 15 second video message. So for example, let's say Eric was posting all about this event that is just amazing that he's putting on for everybody. What I would do is if I saw him post about this event, I would click Eric's name, I would message him, and then I would just shoot him a 20-second message going, hey, Eric, super excited for this event. Can't wait to watch all the awesome talent you got coming on. Hope you're having a great day. Less than 15 seconds. I don't edit it. I don't send it, or I don't send it off for editing. We just send it right away. So I shoot it, don't even watch it back, and then I hit send. So in about 15 to 20 minutes, I can do upwards of 30 to 40 of those in a single day. And so when you start to look through your list, now you're hitting everybody on your friends list, whether you have 1,000 or 5,000, about once a quarter with a super custom message. And so now if you're hitting them via the mail, if you're hitting them every day via Facebook likes or Instagram likes or whatever you're doing, if you're DMing them happy birthdays, where we like to get unique is doing things like just shooting them video messages talking about something they posted, like, hey, that was an awesome post. Just wanted to say thank you for the positivity you're putting into the world, right? I even have some, to be fully transparent with you guys, that are pre-recorded, like the one I just gave you. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the last Facebook post you made. It was super positive, and in a day and age like this, it just changed my night. I really appreciate you posting that. And so like I have that video recorded and saved. And so once every quarter I redo that video, but I track who we are sending those videos to, and it just makes you stand out. So like, for example, last night I sent 10 of those, and all I had to do was copy and paste a file. I obviously didn't send them to the same people, so they thought it was very customized to themselves. We've gotten outrageous response. For you guys that know or maybe don't know, I just ended up moving to Nashville. So I was in Dallas, Texas. Most people know me from the real estate days in Denver, Colorado, but I'm actually filming a 400-day video series right now of moving to a market where I don't know anybody, to sell real estate and show people what it's like to go back into a market that you've never been in. And, one of the things that I'm doing right now is exactly that, is I'm taking all the business owners in an area, putting them on my social platforms, and then I'm just sending them personal messages. And in the last week, I actually had 2 listing referrals from that, and I'm not even licensed yet. And it was just purely the unique touches that come out of that. So that's an extremely unique one. Is number one is sending out cards via send out cards to people on your Facebook account. I highly, highly recommend, if you have a VA or you need a VA, to find a good company. Obviously, I can do that as well, but just find someone that can get you a VA for $1 or $2 an hour, because they can do a lot of that for you, and it changes your world. And it's a super, super unique touch. And then obviously the second is sending random video messages. I think a lot of us, if we do send video messages, it's usually on a birthday or something like that, but it even has a deeper connection and kind of a wow factor when we do it, when people are not even expecting it, when there's no special occasion, and they're like, wow, Justin took the time to do XYZ, or even better, they thought I took the time because I had such a good video that was able to be duplicated across our platform. So really in the nutshell, that is probably the 2 biggest ways in the last 6 months that we have really used Facebook for unique touches. Honestly, we've had so much business just come from those videos and here's the thing, is you can do that multiple times. So, because the content that other people are putting out there is super unique, right? A lot of times we get bogged down in what am I going to post next? What is my next Facebook Live going to talk about? Well, here's the thing. Your audience loves to talk about what they're already talking about. And so, if Bob, my friend, posts about his latest fishing trip, I can get super excited about fishing in a Facebook video with them and touch and get in touch with his deeper, likes and interests. And he's telling me what those are, right? If the car mechanic, if the hair salon, if the, fitness person or whatever is on my Facebook account, people I know, I can get excited about their product or about who they are as a person or about their family or about their home. One of my favorite things to do is, if you guys have never used Facebook custom friends list, make sure you look up a YouTube video, and I can give one to Eric as well, on how to make a custom friends list. I took all of my past clients in real estate, put them in a custom friends list. And then what we do is anytime that they like make a post about their home. So like on Christmas, if they're sitting in their home, what I'll do is I'll go through that list of 250 and I will shoot them a video going, hey, wow, what did you do to the fireplace? Or did you change the fireplace? You know, even if I didn't think that they did, just a great conversation starter. Or, hey, wow, your windows are looking great. Or, hey, whatever it may be. Use the content that they're posting to be interactive, right? I'm a huge believer in posting a lot on Facebook, Instagram, all the different platforms, having a big connection and friends list, but I'm even bigger about what is done in the instant messenger. I would say on any given day, I have about 100 to 300 messages on average go out and into Messenger. Almost all of my business sales exclusively are done either via Facebook Messenger or, you know, Messenger on LinkedIn. So make sure that you guys are highly using those messengers for super, super unique touches. I think the other unique touch that we do a lot of is a lot of people will, and some people might find this kind of odd, but we find it no different than a direct mailer, is we send monthly market updates in the Facebook Messenger. So no different than you would drop it off at their front door. What I like about dropping off a PDF flyer in their Messenger, so especially if you have a very target market of past clients or your, you know, sphere influence, like for me on my Facebook, I have a list of 250 people. So what we do is 20 a day for the entire month. We do a market update. And so what's cool about that is when we attach that PDF, I can see if they read it or not. A lot of times when we send people things in the mail, it could have gone to the trash can. We have no clue. We don't even know if they opened it. Some of us just may be happy that they read it as they put it in the trash can. But at least with Facebook Messenger, we can see that they at least opened it and read it. And, you know, the whole point of most mailers isn't to necessarily have them read the entire document, the legalese of it, is we want them to always have that constant marketing out there in front of their face. And so, yeah, so I think that is, you know, really kind of a wrap on all of the unique touches that I was going to speak about on today's call. So, yeah.
Dude, that was awesome.
Thanks. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it.
I got some notes here, seriously, for myself, some things there that you just made me think about. You know, sometimes the things we hear in seminars and trainings or whatever, conventions, wherever we might be, you know, I do this a lot where I go, oh, I knew that. And I needed you to tell me again, right? So I heard it again. I heard it at the moment I maybe was ready to do it. But like, so I have a couple follow-up questions that might help some people. You mentioned a couple links. If you can, you know, when you have a chance, message those to me, and I'll just share those out. I'll compose a quick email to everyone who registered for the event and push it out that way. I did want to come back to your journey to move into Nashville. So is that are we watching that? I should know this. I feel like we're watching that on YouTube. Is that where it's primarily happening?
Yeah, great question. So we're in the prequel right now, I think is what they call it. I don't watch much TV or movies, but I'm in the prequel. So we're currently recording the minus 21 days from the time that so I only made this decision to be in Nashville less than 20 days ago.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And I'm going to be licensed in the next day or two. And so right now is the prequel. Well, once we actually get into the day-to-day operation and I get the stamp of approval on my license, that will all be posted on Facebook and YouTube as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to watch this. Like, I think it's fascinating. I obviously love real estate anyways, and knowing you, it's going to be fun to watch that journey. So one of the things you mentioned was shooting all those videos.
Yeah,
like shooting the one-offs or, you know, the little custom short things. Are you just jumping on your phone, or are you using an app, or what are you doing there?
Yeah, great question. So two things. I shoot them on my phone because they look like I want them to look organic. So, you know, this sounds really crazy, but what I do is I get 4 different outfits for the year. So I get 4 outfits. I do it all in one day. On the very first day is I shoot usually like 5 to 10 takes. So the first take will be, hey, I just wanted to say, wow, thank you for the positivity, something like that. Number 2, hey, wow, that vacation looks super fun. How did you guys like it? Right? And because those 2 messages now can be used across the entire year and just put into the file. Now, some people are like, oh, well, what if you're going to send it to them again? Aren't they going to catch you? Well, that's why I have the 4 different shirts, because I can see in a quick messenger chain with a lot of these people, hey, what's the last video message I sent them?
Right.
And so the other cool thing, Eric, just a little tip for everybody, is if you use messenger.com, So messenger.com, it is a much more advanced version of Facebook Messenger than just in like on the little sidebar. And what it does is when you open up messenger.com and send someone a message, it actually keeps a file history of every video you've ever sent them in order in a file locker. And so what's cool about that is in a matter of seconds, now I have at my disposal 4 shirts times maybe 15 different intros. I have 60 things that I can use on a single person in a year, and they would never know that they were pre-recorded.
Yep. No, I love that. It's a great tip, by the way, on the messenger.com. You know, the other thing you could do is you could just wear the same black t-shirt every day, and then like people wouldn't know either, right?
Absolutely. It's actually kind of crazy. Kevin Kaufman's obviously, I don't know if he's been on here yet.
He's right there.
Oh, there he is. He's known for that. Funny enough that you said, I thought you were making fun of me. Then I was like, oh, Kevin must be on. Because last year I wore a black shirt about 300 out of 365 days.
It's simple, man. Like I didn't do it today, but a lot of days I got the black shirt. It's just simple, right? Like I don't have to think about what I'm wearing. So anyways, great, man, dude, there was a lot there to unpack. Send out cards, doing the videos, send me those links. I definitely want to show those out to everyone.
Absolutely.
Dude, I appreciate you would just take the time to do this. Thank you.
Absolutely.